broadcasting live from 76 degree downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV, home of not one but two stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And all of a sudden my headphones are, what the hell? All of a sudden my headphones are going wacky. And an Oscar. And we're brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. I don't know why all of a sudden my headphones are. I bumped this. Maybe. Alright, that's better. I have a bad habit. I always want to keep adjusting things. I don't know, it still sounds low. I hope you guys can hear all right. Maybe it's these headphones. Shouldn't be, they're like frickin' brand new. Whatever. So, how is everybody tonight? Sounds muffled for some reason. I bumped this gain and try that. Well, that sounds a little better in my ear. Sometimes Staples really pisses me off. Today was the perfect example. Okay. I took the microphone and I put it into the original shipping container, the original box. And, Staples, like every 2 feet on the floor is an orange disc. Amazon returns. Yeah, you walked a little walk, and they have a special person that handles Amazon shipping. So I said to the guy, I removed the label from the box so there'll be no confusion. And I said, everything is all ready to ship. All you got to do is put a label on it. He reaches in a cubby hole, pulls out an X-Acto knife, cuts the tape, takes the speaker or the microphone box out of the box that I've got it in. And I said, you really don't need to check any, everything is in there. And he goes, oh, we put it in our own box. I said, what's wrong with this box? There's no labels or anything on it. I had it sealed tight. We put it in our own box. Okay. I said, I would tend to think that this box is going to be a lot sturdier than your box. So he's like, let's quit the talk about boxes. Do you have a QR code? I said, yes, I do. I pull up my cell phone, he blips the QR code. He looks at his computer and he goes, holy shit. I'm like, now what? Can I have that heavy box back? And I was going to say, fuck no. And I says, what do you need the heavy box back for? Well, I didn't realize this thing was going to Germany. I said, that's why I had it all sealed up. Because this is a good heavy box, and I don't want a crush or, something that might damage the return of this microphone. I really wanted to say, fuck you, get your own box, So I gave him the good heavy box. He puts the microphone box inside, I even had I hate those air pillows. But I had a couple of them. I don't know why I saved them for the cat and they didn't play with them. I had them air pillows packed so that nothing moved. They're just total idiots. Not to mention, he looked like he had a Halloween dreadlock wig. He had fucking hair, had to be 8 inches to 10 inches past his shoulder. I thought it was a broad when I walked in. I'm like, first of all, we need to get rid of HR and we need to turn it into personnel again. And then we need dress codes. Because I'm tired of hearing this shit that this is against their rights and this is against their rights. And, if anybody wanted to complain, it was me back in 1970 having to wear a 3-piece suit or a 2-piece suit, but I like the 3, and work in a building that didn't have fully operational air conditioning. And we had to keep our suit coats on. Now, finally, eventually, the county paid for a new air conditioning system, but maybe on a 90-degree day when it was 120 degrees, in the office, the air conditioning might take it down to 80. I couldn't believe the fucking hair. And, back in 2000, I worked at Staples. That store, I still have the red Staples uniform shirt. And in 2000, we had to have dress shoes, not athletic shoes, dress shoes. We had to have our hair neat. You couldn't have, it's getting ridiculous. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse. And there's no need. It's 76 degrees There's a breeze blowing. There's no need for you to idle your truck outside my window. This isn't winter. I don't know why we have to idle a truck outside my window. I'm waiting for somebody to come out the side door. This is a relative from Florida that's visiting. Must think he's still down in Florida. So goddamn ignorant. You don't need the air conditioner. You know, that's why they have windows. Put the windows down. There's a bit of a cool breeze blowing. Your goddamn Dodge Ram 2500 right outside my window. I don't know why it's 7 o'clock at night, 76 degrees, with a breeze blowing. Why we gotta have a truck idling outside my window? Finally, we're moving. So fucking ignorant. Jesus fucking Christ. Start it up, put the windows down, pull out the driveway, pull to the curb if if you want to idle. Jesus. So I asked the idiot, I said, how is this being shipped? FedEx, UPS? He said, DHL. Now, DHL used to be big in the United States. Then they realized that they really couldn't compete with FedEx and UPS and Amazon. They do have a couple of hubs. They have a hub downtown in Cleveland. And mainly, I think, it's for stuff that comes over from probably I would say Germany and the surrounding area, because DHL is originally out of Germany. So even though Staples is not a shipping center for DHL, I don't know how it's going to get to DHL unless they call and say, hey, we have a package that you need to pick up. But I feel it's in good hands with DHL because I really believe they originated over in Germany. But I remember oh God, had to be, I think like 1999, I was considering leaving my employment at the hospital because there was a guy that used to come in for lunch every day that had a DHL route. And he was selling the route because he was getting a bigger route, like from like for Vermilion out towards Toledo. Now the route wasn't all the way that big, but it was west of Vermilion. And I really was considering purchasing it because, in a way, I was kind of getting fed up with the new management at the hospital in the cafeteria. I had gotten my approval for the loan, and this was like on a Wednesday. Tuesday, I got a call from the bank, everything's approved. Him and I were to meet on Friday because he was going to have the DHL regional manager do all the paperwork and everything. And the Thursday before that Friday, DHL announced it was pulling out of the United States and was just going to have a, a certain amount of satellite hubs to handle, they said mainly like letter transfers. They weren't really going to be doing packages anymore. And I was like, holy shit. Thank God, because if they would have done that the following Monday, I'd have been screwed. Because I'd have made my purchase, had my truck. But I have noticed DHL is making somewhat of a return in the United States because every now and then I'll see a DHL truck in the neighborhood. So the next thing is what I had the sneaking suspicion before they ship me the new microphone, they're going to want the old one in their hands, which don't bother me because I didn't fucking pay for it anyway. But I miss that goddamn thing already. I was staring at that box going, oh man, what a microphone. So then, after I left Staples, I needed to pick up a few things from the store. And I decided, I said, oh, I'll just go to Mark's. I was going to go to Gigantic Eagle, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to that store. That mega goddamn store where you get lost. Although I should have, because I have tried to order from the Indian store another Heineken mini keg. And their route man keeps saying, oh, we can't get them anymore. And I called Giant Eagle and they said, well, we have them all the time. So I don't know if this route man is just being obstinate or what. Because what I was thinking of doing was going to Giant Eagle, buying one, and then when the route man comes in going, what do you mean you can't get them anymore? How can Giant Eagle get them? You're the beer distributor for the area. So I go into Mark's and there's this little cutie cashier that just started about a month and a half ago. The only turnoff is she's got a goddamn horseshoe in her nose. I don't know why girls think they look beautiful with one of them goddamn horseshoe things through their nose. And the other day when Annie was stocking, I checked out with her. And I always call the girl sweetheart, all the time. So I put the stuff on the belt, and she finished with the customer in front of me, and I was like, how you doing today, sweetheart? And she looks at me and she goes, why do you call me that? I said, oh, if I'm offending you, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, nobody's ever called me a sweetheart. And I wanted to say, well, if you get that bone out of your nose, maybe somebody would. And she actually thanked me for calling her a sweetheart. But I really wanted to say, get that thing out of your nose. That's the stupidest looking shit. You put that horseshoe in your nose. Although it's better than a ring. Like a goddamn bull ring. Here, come here. I'm going to hook a chain to you. I don't understand why they think that makes them look beauteous. To me, it's ridiculous. I wish somebody, matter of fact, you know, if I wouldn't hurt her feelings, I'd say, what the hell are you got that stupid thing in your nose for? Be my luck, she'd start to cry. I'd be like, oh, shit. Well, I did something today I really didn't want to do. I ordered the other two books. Oh, man. Although I did get volume 2 from the same place that I got volume 1. And they had it's a library shelf copy. Excellent condition. $25. I says, okay. And then I searched and I searched and I searched, and there is nowhere I could find volume 3 at a discount, and I had to spend $34.95. Oh, God. That one really broke me. So in a week, week and a half, depending how Amazon ships, I'll have all three copies. And then we'll be in celebrity death certificates for till the end of the year. Since it's alphabetical order, we're going to go through a couple in the beginning here. Well, this one we know, Bud Abbott. Everybody knows Bud Abbott from Abbott and Costello. Bud Abbott passed from respiratory failure due to a heart attack. Well, I would think a heart attack would definitely screw with your... It lists him as a performer for Universal Studios. Evidently, he must have had an exclusive contract with them. All right, Nick Adams. Actor, freelance, motion pictures, and TV. This name does not... He died in '68. Nick Adams does not tick a box at all. It says actor, freelance, motion pictures, and TV. Nick Adams does not tick a box whatsoever. He died of accidental self-destruction. Formaldehyde and promazine intoxication. Never heard of formaldehyde. Says accidental. I don't understand how some of this could be accidental. You know what your dosages are. Oh, here's Gracie Allen. Massive heart attack, acute myocardial infarction. Good old Gracie. Irwin Allen died at 91. Director and producer, motion pictures, Warner Brothers. All right. He probably we wouldn't know because he was a director and a producer. Cardiopulmonary arrest. Oh, really? Oh, I remember that TV show. Johnny Yuma. The Rebel, Johnny Yuma. Or something like that. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't know that was his name. All right, here's one I definitely don't know. Dame Judith Anderson. Died in 92. Actress, theater, self-employed. Respiratory failure due to a brain tumor. Dame Judith Anderson. All right, I recognize the name. I can't remember what she played in. Eve Arden. I recognize the name, Eve Arden. I can't place what she played in. Actress, entertainment, self-employed. Now, mothers-in-law, I don't recognize, but I Dream of Jeannie. She was in I Dream of Jeannie. Interesting. She died of cardiac arrest due to heart disease. November 12, 1990. Mary Astor. Died in 87. Mary Astor. Have no idea. The name don't even ring a bell. Actress. Various studios. Motion picture industry. That name doesn't even tick a box. Mary Astor. She died from respiratory failure due to emphysema. Oh, here's another one that don't tick a box either. She died in 91. Eleanor Audley. Audley. Eleanor Audley. Actress, film and TV. Last place of employment, Disney Studios. Eleanor Audley, Maltese Falcon also? Really? She died from acute cardiorespiratory arrest due to COPD. I think we did Gene Autry yesterday. Cardiopulmonary arrest due to lymphoma. All right, now here's a name I recognize, but I can't. Oh, really? Hmm. All right, I recognize the name. Hermione Baddeley. She died in 88. Hermione Baddeley. Baddeley. Hermione Baddeley. It don't even tick a box. Actress, self-employed, entertainment. Okay. Hermione Baddeley. She died from cardiorespiratory arrest brought on by a stroke. Whoever Hermione Baddeley was. Oh, Bonnie Blakely, we know who that is. She was the maid in Mary Poppins. Okay. Bonnie Blakely. We know who Bonnie Blakely was. Multiple gunshot wounds. Homicide. And the interesting thing was, did they ever convict Robert Blake? Did Robert? All evidence pointed to him, but I don't know if he ever got convicted of it. Something tells me it was kind of questionable. Even though he left her 2 blocks from the restaurant, sitting in the car, and went back to the restaurant to get his gun that he left in the booth where they were eating. To me, that kind of sounds like open and shut. But they could never really stick him with it. Well, everybody knew he shot her. Although many people said she deserved it. Yeah, he didn't serve any prison time though, did he? I'm kind of fuzzy on that one. Yeah, I'm kind of fuzzy on. Well, Belushi, we know. We don't have to go over that one. Jack Benny, Milton Berle, we did them. Bill Bixby we did, Amanda Blake. Joan Blondell. Died in 79. Actress, Spelling, Goldberg and Company. TV Productions. Oh, he did do a little time. Yeah, 11 months. All right, big deal, you know. Joan Blondell. She died from leukemia. Boy, this is one I definitely don't know. Although she died in 65. Clara Bow. Motion picture actress. Clara Bow. Boy, that's way before my time. Joan Blondell was in Greece? Really? Okay. Clara Bow has got to be probably some fucking silent film. The It Girl. Boy, that don't ring a bell at all. Cause of death, acute drug intoxication. Oh, we ain't even gonna go to this one. She died in 51. Fanny Bryce. That don't even. That's way before my time. 51? She died the year I was born. All right, George Burns we did yesterday. Silent film, okay. That's why it don't ring no bell with me. There were talkies when I was around. No, I can't even read half of this. It's handwritten and it's May Bush. I can't even make half of it out. It's so scribbled. See, some of these are typed, and some of them are handwritten. that one's such a bad copy you can't even read it. Truman Capote, we did that one yesterday. I don't know why we saved Carlson. We went through that one yesterday. Leo Carrillo, 61. That's way... Leo Carrillo, actor, motion pictures and television. Passed in 61. That one wouldn't even in a rerun. He died of colon cancer. Well, I never read that novel, so that one wouldn't have rang a bell at all. John Cassavetes. He died in 59, so that would, or 59 or 89? 89. John Cassavetes. Actor, writer, director, entertainment. That name don't ring a bell at all. Cirrhosis of the liver. Oh, Cassavetes was Pancho? Really? Well, he drank himself to death. Another one you can't read. Bad Xerox copy. Another bad Xerox copy. Oh, for what I'm paying for these books, they should have good copies. William Conrad. I can picture him. Didn't he do detective stuff, William Conrad? Didn't he play in a detective series or something, William Conrad? He was kind of a big guy, wasn't he? I might be having him confused with somebody. William Conrad was kind of chunky, if I got the right guy. I'm pretty sure I got William Conrad. He's kind of bald. Cardiopulmonary arrest due to end-stage renal disease. Peritoneal catheter resection. That's interesting. They must have rerouted his plumbing. Well, typical. Lou Costello, everything is neatly typed, and then cause of death is scribbled. Oh, God. Ventricle fibrillation, secondary cause, severe hypertension. So he had high blood pressure and screwed up his heart. He was the narrator on Gunsmoke. I thought he played in some detective series. I must have him confused. Broderick Crawford. Maybe he played the detective series. Oh, really? Okay. Broderick Crawford. I'm trying to place what he... that basically respiratory arrest brought on by severe pneumonia. And he had multiple strokes. Well, that's going to kill you for sure. Brad Davis died in 91. Actor, entertainment, self-employed. Brad Davis. Not ticking a box. Brad Davis. Cause of death, intravenous drug abuse. Accident. Yeah, right. Oh, wait a minute. The corrected version says the S word. It don't say accident. The first death certificate said accident. The second death certificate says the S word. Every now and then there's two death certificates issued. All right. Sammy Davis and James Dean, we did. Albert Decker. Oh, okay. How about Albert Decker? Dekker. He died in 68, was an actor, contracted to Warner Brothers Studios. All right, Rudy, have a good one. Albert Decker. Not ringing a bell whatsoever. Dr. Cyclops. I remember the movie. He put a rope around his neck. Yeah. He put a rope around his neck. Supposed accident. How can you put a rope around your neck and it be an accident? Suffocation and constriction of neck by ligature. That ain't no fucking accident. I think sometimes they rule these for the insurance. Because if it's the S word, a lot of insurance companies won't pay. But if you're putting a rope around your neck, that ain't no accident. Okay. Here's one, 1971. Peter Duell, D-E-U-E-L, Duell. Peter D-E-U-E-L. Actor, Universal Studios movie industry. Died in December of 71. Peter Duell. Don't ring a bell whatsoever. Holy shit. Hoy-yoy-yoy. Holy shit. Now you guys, you got it. Decker replaced, in Death of a Salesman. Oh, really? Okay. All right, you've got to tell me Peter Duell, D-E-U-E-L. The name doesn't sound familiar at all. Alias Smith and Jones. I don't remember that at all. Was that a TV program? Must have been. Are you ready for this one? Cerebral destruction. Cerebral destruction. Gunshot wound to the head. Man, that must have been a hell of a gun. Cerebral destruction. That's almost as good as charred. He must have used a frickin' shotgun. And he did it at home. Oy, 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 what a mess. All right, Disney we did. Dominic Dunn we did. We did Durante. Harry Essex. Writer-director. Okay, we wouldn't know him. Douglas Fairbanks. (1939). Well, way before my time. Oh, God, Henry Fonda. Oh, Jesus. It's a bad copy. Dr. Oh, okay. Cardiopulmonary arrest brought on by restrictive cardiomyopathy. Severe heart problems. Okay. Oh, a bonanza person. Clark Gable. Coronary thrombosis. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, he wrote my favorite movie. Really? How cool. How about Gretchen Gayling? She died in '61, which is not somebody I would have known. Gailing, Gretchen Gayling. Cardiorespiratory failure. Okay. I don't know if we did this yesterday or not. Janet Gaynor? Did we do Janet Gaynor yesterday? She was a dancer, wasn't she? Yeah, we did this one yesterday. Jesus. John Gilbert. Died in '76. Actor. Acute myocarditis. Gail Gordon, didn't we do him yesterday? Cardiopulmonary arrest due to lung cancer. I think we did Gail Gordon yesterday. Betty Grable. Of course, the writing is... Oh, lung cancer. I didn't know Betty Grable died of lung cancer. Wow. Jean Harlow. 1937. Well, that ain't going to be one we recognize. Well, we recognize the name, but she died way before I was even thought of. Didn't I like this? Oh, Galen with Joan of Arc? Really? Wow. You guys are good. Okay, we did that one yesterday. We did that one yesterday. Oh, Fibber McGee and Molly. I remember that on the radio. Yeah. I remember that on the radio. My mother used to listen to that. John Eric Hexum. Died in 84. Actor, 20th Century Fox, Motion Pictures and TV. John Eric Hexum. Hexum. Wow, this is interesting. John Hexum. Died in 84. Very interesting on this one. Yeah, it says gunshot wound of head, accident, location, movie studio, accidental discharge of firearm. He must have been on the set. Another one of them armorers that just accidentally put a live round in a gun. Yeah, lead poisoning. Yeah, it says on set. Accidental discharge of firearm. You know, like that armorer. Oh, God. They were filming the movie Rust when the director got shot. Oh, who was... all right, who shot her? because the armorer ended up getting prison time and he got off. Oh, I can't think. I can picture him. I can see him. Because the director said, aim right here. And she was pointing at herself so that they get the right camera angle. And he pulled the trigger, and there was a live round in the goddamn gun. And the armorer, who was a young girl in her 20s, Alec Baldwin, yeah, Alec Baldwin, that's right. She went to prison, and he got off. Because they determined when they looked at the ammunition boxes, she had live rounds and blanks mixed together. And she loaded that gun and handed it to him. And although the director, point it right here at me. And they were getting the camera angle. And she was like, right here, right here. Roll them. Oops. I think he's got sued for wrongful death. But I know they acquitted him of everything. Yeah, we did William Holden. Curly Howard, Mo Howard, Shemp Howard, we did them. We did The Rock Hudson. All right, here's one that Roy Huggins, Huggins, writer, producer, actor, television. Gastrointestinal hemorrhage due to arteriovenous malformation. Wow. That's interesting. Richard Jaeckel. Jaeckel. Richard Jaeckel. Died in 1997. Actor, motion picture and television. Don't ring a bell whatsoever. Cause of death, severe renal failure. David Jansen, deferred, and no secondary death certificate. Wow. Usually when they're deferred, there's a secondary. Maybe it'll be in book 2 or 3. Huggins played 77 times in the Rockford Files. Okay. Victor Killian. Actor. Movies, TV. Victor Killian. Died 79. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, the fugitive. Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Searching for the one-armed man. Yeah, that's right. I remember that show. Because in the last show, he found him. Victor Killian ain't ringing no bell whatsoever. He died 79. Multiple blunt force trauma to the head. Homicide. Somebody cracked his skull. I don't know why they keep going out. Oh, really? I'll be. Very interesting. You guys are good. All right, we did that one yesterday. We did that one yesterday. We did that one. 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 Get a little warm in here all of a sudden. Turn the fan on. I think we did Audra Lindley yesterday. That sounds familiar. Bela Lugosi, Ida Lupino, Paul Lynde, Fred McMurray. We did that one. Marjorie Main, we did that one. Dean Martin and his son, we did those. Walter Matthau, we did. We did that one. Audrey Meadows, Sal Mineo, we did that one. Robert Mitchum, Marilyn Monroe. Clayton Moore. I don't think we did Vic Morrow yesterday, did we? Oh, God, I remember this one. I remember this one, Vic Morrow. Holy shit, yeah. Does anybody remember how Vic Morrow bought the farm? I remember this one. Really, Killian was blacklisted. Made a comeback. Brady Bunch, Jefferson. Wow. Usually when you get blacklisted, you're done for. Boy, he kissed some ass there. Holy shit, really? Who remembers how Vic Morrow bought the farm? I remember this one. Yeah. A helicopter rotor blade took his head off. Rotor blade injury, head, neck, shoulders. I remember that made big news. Harriet Nelson. Acute respiratory failure. Ozzie Nelson. Cardiac failure. Ozzie and Harriet. Lloyd Nolan. Boy, that name rings a bell, but I can't place him. Lloyd Nolan. Motion picture and TV. The name sounds familiar, but I can't place anything he played in. Respiratory arrest due to a lung cancer. Here's another one, don't ring a bell. Ramon Novarro. Ramon Novarro. Actor under contract with Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Motion Pictures. Died in '68. Suffocation, aspiration of blood, multiple traumatic injuries of face, nose, and mouth. Homicide. Somebody beat the shit out of him. Pat O'Brien. Pat O'Brien. Why does that ring a bell? Pat O'Brien. Boy, the name sounds familiar. Oh, he played in the airport. See, if they, if they weren't A-lister stars, that's probably why I'm not. Same thing, Pat O'Brien. I'm not. You know, it's amazing how many of these actors die from heart failure, cardiac arrest. Pat O'Brien. Same thing, Carol O'Connor, cardiac arrest. Man, Hollywood is not good to these people. Newt Rockney, okay. Oh, good old Heather O'Rourke. I remember her. They're back. Yeah, her death was a shame because they fucking misdiagnosed it for so many years. She died of septic shock due to acute bowel obstruction. And here they found out, like from birth, she had that birth defect, and every doctor mistreated her. I remember that. George Papard, I remember him. Respiratory failure due to leukemia. Wow. Do we have a second one here? River Phoenix. Acute multiple drug intoxication. Accident. Place of death, nightclub. Oh, man. I hate when they type them out nice and clear and then the doctor writes in. Mary Pickford. Oh, chronic myocarditis. Man. Some of these doctors write like doctors. Freddie Prinze, we did. Gilda Radner, we did. Dak Rambo. Actor, television entertainment. Died in 94. Dak Rambo. Dak Rambo. He was in the A-Team? Really? He had died from acute wasting syndrome. Acute wasting syndrome. Never heard that term, acute wasting syndrome. All right, we got Dak Rambo and we got Dirk Rambo. And the copy of the death certificate isn't that good. Dirk Rambo, D-I-R-K. Actor, Universal Studios. Dirk Rambo. Oh boy. This is an interesting one. Can we come up with what Dirk, D-I-R-K, Dirk Rambo starred in? Very interesting one there. Extensive thermal burns of the entire body. Accident. Auto versus auto and burst into flames. Holy shit. What a way to go. Martha Ray. Boy, that name rings a bell, but I can't. Theater, film, and television. Martha Ray. Boy, I just... Dirk starred Dragnet and the Virginian. Okay. Well... He ended up a post-toasty. Auto versus auto and burst into flames. Martha Ray. The name sounds... It ticks a box. I can't think... What Martha Ray... Theater, film, and television. She did it all. Oh, they were twins. Really? Dirk and Dak, huh? Wow. Well, good old Martha Ray had multi-cerebral infarctions, which she died of multiple strokes. We did George Reeves. I think we did Lee Remick, too. Edward G. Robinson. Died in 1973. Bladder cancer. Wow. Ginger Rogers. Acute myocardial infarction, massive heart attack. It's interesting, she got 2 death certificates. One is pending, and then the other one, I wonder why it took them so long to figure out she had a heart attack. Usually that's quite obvious. Usually that's pretty obvious at an autopsy. We did Roy Rogers. Cesar Romero. Died in 94. Cardiorespiratory arrest brought on by bronchitis. Secondary cause, bronchitis. Oh, and a pulmonary embolus. Ooh, blood clot. Bronchitis brought on a blood clot and the ticker stopped. Charlie Ruggles. Died in 70. Actor, motion pictures. Charlie Ruggles. Man, old Dak had a little bit of a storied career there. Soap operas. You know you're hitting the bottom of the barrel when you end up having to call your agent and say, I'll do a soap opera. Charlie Ruggles. That one ain't ticking a box at all. Colon cancer. It's interesting, there's a lot of colon cancers. Gail Russell. Died in 61. Actress. Movies and television. Gail Russell. '61. I was only 10. But even in rerun, I don't recognize that name at all. Gail Russell. Said she did movies and TV. Associate Producers, Inc. was her employer. Terminal aspiration of stomach contents, acute and chronic alcoholism. She basically inhaled her vomit. Now this name rings a bell, but I can't place her. Rosalind Russell. Died in 76. Rosalind Russell. The name ticks a bell, but I can't place her. Entertainment, movies, and TV. Boy, the name ticks a bell. But I can't even envision what she looked like. Rosalind Russell. Sounds familiar as can be. Intestinal obstruction. Secondary rheumatoid arthritis. Well, that don't cause intestinal obstructions. Irene Ryan. Wasn't she Granny? Irene Ryan, wasn't she Granny in the Beverly Hillbillies? Glioblastoma. Whatever that is. Glioblastoma. Whatever that is. George C. Scott. George C. Scott. Ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm. Same thing that killed, what's his name? John Ritter. Ruptured aorta. When that happens, you're gone. Even if the paramedics are having lunch next door, you're gone. Dinah Shore. Goddamn print is so tiny. All right. Somebody's going to have to look this up. Oh, brain cancer. Okay. Somebody's going to have to look this up for Dinah Shore. I have never heard this medical term ever. It's CACHEXIA. Cachexia something, CACHEXIA. Never heard that medical term. Whatever cachexia is. Never heard that medical term in my life. And I've heard a lot of them. I never heard of cachexia. Whatever cachexia is, she had it for 2 weeks before she died. Really? Wow. Oh, Jay Silverheels. We know who Jay Silverheels is. Tonto. Terminal bronchopneumonia. Secondary cause, chronic brain disease. Really? Terminal bronchopneumonia, secondary cause, chronic brain disease. Wow. Poor Jay Silverheels. Died in 1980. Hi-yo silver away. Sinatra. Cardiorespiratory arrest. Did we do Barbara Stanwyck yesterday? I don't think so. Died from pneumonia, secondary emphysema. God, she was 82, huh? Wow. I always remember they always used to introduce her as Miss Barbara Stanwyck. Miss. And she was divorced. I wonder why it was always Miss Barbara Stanwyck. I can't remember what show, but Miss Barbara Stanwyck. Craig Stevens. Died in 2000. Actor, entertainer. Craig Stevens. All right, that name sounds familiar. Craig Stevens. Oh, this is interesting. Craig Stevens. All right, somebody, Craig Stevens. The cause of death isn't so interesting as the other part. Craig Stevens died of malignant lymphoma. Funeral handled by Neptune Society, cremains at sea. That's interesting. Funeral handled by Neptune Society of Burbank, cremains at sea. Very interesting there. First time I saw that one. Jimmy Stewart. Cardiac arrest due to pulmonary embolus, right leg thrombosis. Basically, a blood clot from his right leg moved to his heart. Wow. I think that's the same thing that killed John Panette. Milburn Stone. Oh, I know who Milburn Stone is. He was Doc on Gunsmoke. Milburn Stone. Yeah, he was Doc on Gunsmoke. Congestive heart failure. Dorothy Stratton. Oh, I remember that one. I remember Dorothy Stratton. First of all, she was a Playboy Playmate, and she was just breaking in to acting with the support of Hugh Hefner. I remember Dorothy Stratton. There was, matter of fact, there was a movie, Dorothy Stratton's story. How she basically came over here from Holland, became a Playboy. I think I can't remember if she was Playmate of the Year. And then Hugh Hefner got her some acting jobs, and she was just starting her career when her husband decided to blow her away. And himself, thank goodness. Yeah, gunshot wound. He used a shotgun. I remember that. Sharon Tate. I don't think we did this yesterday. Sharon Tate. He started in vaudeville, really. He had a hell of a career. Multiple stab wounds of chest and back, penetrating heart, lungs, and liver, causing massive hemorrhage. Yeah, good old Charlie Manson. Robert Taylor. Why does Robert Taylor sound familiar? Died in 1969. Actor, entertainment, TV, movies. Robert Taylor. That ain't ticking no boxes. Yeah, Sharon Tate, that was a goddamn shame there. Robert Taylor died of lung cancer. Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas. Acute myocardial infarction. Massive heart attack. That hit him quick. Died in 91. God. And mainly known for St. Jude Hospital. Which I donate to. One of the few charities I donate to. I donate to two. I donate to St. Jude and I donate to Tales of the City, which is a cat non-kill shelter. It's a non-kill shelter. Cat rescue, which I have gotten 2 cats from. Not my current fat ass. Well, indirectly. He didn't come directly from the shelter. He basically came from a woman who rescued him from the family that was literally tormenting the fuck out of him. And she was... She didn't want to take him into the shelter. So she was kind of his intermediary. Yeah, it was interesting how I got him. Because he didn't come directly. I was notified by Tales and asked if I wanted him before the woman basically brought him in. What she did is she rescued him, and then she contacted Tales and said, you know, I'm gonna keep him for a while, and you find him a home, and if you can't find him a home, I'll bring him to the shelter. And they called me because they knew I was looking for a tuxedo, and history after that. What a bastard he was. Oh, I tried giving him back twice. It's amazing what he turned into, but man, oh. The first 8-9 months, oh, what a rotten bastard he was. Of course, the shit that he went through, the torment, I really couldn't fault him, but oh, what a prick. He was just rotten to the core. And, you know, I had socks at the time, and, you know, he comes in here at 4 or 5 months old and thought he was the goddamn alpha male. No, he was 6 months old. And I had socks about 5 years. And Boots comes in here thinking he's the goddamn alpha male. Used to kick the shit out of Socks. That's why basically when I would leave, I'd lock him in my bedroom. And that's how the treats started. Because I would put the treats on the opposite side of the bed so that he wouldn't see me scoot out the door. Now every time I walk past the bedroom, he thinks he gets a treat. Mel Torme. Mel Torme. I remember Mel Torme. Well, there's a lot of causes here. Diabetes, coronary heart disease, congestive heart failure, cardiopulmonary arrest. Man, old Mel had everything. Spencer Tracy. Good old Spencer Tracy. Cardiac arrest. Secondary cause, hypertension and coronary heart disease. God, he was only 67? Really? Wow. Lana Turner. Lana Turner. Died in 95. Cancer of the nasal pharynx. Never heard that term. Cancer of the nasal pharynx. What'd she have? Nose cancer? What the hell? Yeah, Kathy, go ahead, laugh. Oh, twice I tried to give that prick back. If I left him loose in the house when I went to work, there would be cat hair everywhere, and poor goddamn Socks would be hovering in a corner. He came in here thinking he was the alpha male. So what I would do is I would bring him in the bedroom, and I would put cat treats on the opposite corner of the bed and scoot out the door. And now, every time I walk past the door, he runs in there and jumps up on the bed. Treats! Yeah, there was another. Oh Christ, I can't think who played opposite Tracy in that movie. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some research. I can picture Tracy. I'm going to have to look up, or somebody Google nasal pharynx. Nasopharynx. I've never heard of cancer of the nasopharynx. Nasal is nose. Never heard that term. Nasopharynx. What is that, like cancer of the nasal cavity, or? Never heard that term. God, I hope the other two books come so we're just about through this one. Holy shit. Robert Urich. There's another name that sounds familiar and I can't place it. Robert Urich. Upper part of the throat. Wow. Okay. Throat cancer, basically. I know about that one. Robert Urich, actor, movies, television, entertainment. The name sounds familiar. I can't place him. Robert Urich. Cardiopulmonary arrest caused by multi-system failure. Everything shut down. Vivian Vance. Her real name was Vivian Roberta Dodds. Stage name, Vivian Vance. Cardiopulmonary arrest. Died in 79. Wow. Spencer for Hire and Magnum Force. Okay. Yeah, when they're secondary actors. Really? Now you got me going here. I'll be damned. An Ohio guy, huh? It's amazing how many actors and actresses and everything came from Ohio. Oh, here's one that, yeah, Ethel Mertz. Charles Wagenheim. Died in 79. Actor, TVs, movies, entertainment. Charles Wagenheim. Definitely nobody I know. Charles Wagenheim. And that was his name, too. He didn't have a stage name. Went by Charles Wagenheim. Multiple traumatic injuries. Homicide. At his residence in Los Angeles. Somebody didn't like him. Ethel Waters. Ethel Waters. Ethel Waters. Oh, Wagenheim was Diary of Anne Frank. Well, somebody gave him multiple traumatic injuries. Ethel Waters died in 77. Metastatic endometrial carcinoma. Now, John Wayne, we know. Clifton Webb. Radio, stage, and motion pictures. Clifton Webb. Clifton Webb. Boy, that name sounds familiar. Clifton Webb. Acute congestive heart failure. Jack Webb. Dragnet, right? Jack Webb, Dragnet. Coronary artery disease. Orson Welles. Cardiopulmonary collapse. Cardiopulmonary collapse. Although Orson Welles, he could afford to lose about 300 pounds. Oh, really? She was a big band person, huh? Okay. Mae West. Cerebral thrombosis, secondary cause, diabetes. Good old Mae West. Didn't they... If I remember right, didn't they call the inflatable life vests Mae Wests? Didn't they get that term? Something sticks in my mind. The inflatable life, they called them Mae Wests. Maybe because they... I'm pretty sure they called the inflatable life vests Mae Wests. Somehow they got that term. That sticks in my head for some reason. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm pretty sure. Mary Wicks. Mary Wicks. Actress, motion pictures. Mary Wicks. Wickes. Died 95. Massive gastrointestinal bleed, acute renal failure. Peptic ulcer and anemia. Wow. Wow. Some of them go into great detail and others are... Billy Wilder. Writer, director, entertainer. I remember Billy Wilder. Respiratory failure, secondary cause, pneumonia. Iron deficiency, anemia. Renal insufficiency. Boy, there's real detail on that one. I guess it determines which coroner is writing the death certificate. Walter Winchell. I think we did that one yesterday. Cardiac arrest. Oh, Natalie Wood. Yeah, we know how old Natalie Wood went. Somehow, I don't think that was an accident. Her death was really suspicious. Really. And the real suspicious thing was she had a fear of water. There was no way she would have gotten that fucking dinghy to row herself back across, you know. That death is... I mean, you know, they ruled it accidental drowning, but that death is still suspicious. Because everybody said there'd be no way she'd have gotten that fucking dinghy. Wow, she had a varied career, didn't she? Wow, interesting. Loretta Young. She died in 09? Really? Oh. God, talk about, could they use any smaller type? 2000? 2000, not 09. Ugh. But print so tiny. Ovarian cancer. 6 months. Wow. Boy. Talk about not going to see your doctor. Robert Young. Coronary artery disease, respiratory failure. He died 98. Frank Zappa. Yeah, good old Frank Zappa. Named his daughter Moon Unit. And I think he named his son Dweezil. You could tell he was high both times. I'm pretty sure he named his son Dweezil and his daughter Moon Unit, which they just called her Moon Zappa, but her name was Moon Unit. Yes. Prostate cancer. And unfortunately, that was the last one. We went through all of them now. Now, Amazon, ship them 2 books quick. I can't believe we went through this whole book. 185 death certificates. $185 death certificates in 2 nights. Oh, God. Amazon. I knew I should have Prime. I'd have had them overnight. Well, 2 more are on the way. Two more on the way. Hopefully they'll be here next week, maybe. Interesting as hell. Really, I'm, you know, as much as I hated to spend the money, I can't wait till they get here, because it makes for very interesting reading. Because, like I said, a lot of the time the news, they won't give the cause. Now, sometimes it's the family saying, we want to keep it private. But other times, the news is like, so-and-so died. Have a nice day. I like to know the cause. And it's amazing how many died from cardiac arrest, How many guys died from prostate cancer? I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, they say Hollywood's a tough business. Wow, they talk about all the heart attacks. Now, all well and good, you know, a lot of them were retired. But man, heart attack after heart attack after heart attack. Of course, you know, with a lot of them, it's that fast living too. Partying all the time, drinking, you know. It's that fast lane you get into when you're in Hollywood. It takes its toll for sure. But very interesting. I can't wait for the other two. As much as I hated spending the money. God. You know, the $25 one wasn't bad. The $34.95 one really got me. And you know what will happen now? There'll be another library copy for number 3 at $25. That'll be my luck. I'll go into Amazon. But, you know, I got hooked. And that's the problem. I got hooked. I had to get them for 2 reasons. One, for personal satisfaction, and for 2, you guys enjoy it as much as I did. It's a shame we blew through the book in 2 nights. Fingers crossed they get here next week. And then, you know, in a couple of days we'll blow through them, and then what are we going to do? But I had to order. I had to. I couldn't wait. I had to. I was like, oh, shit. I'll be eating peanut butter and jelly for the next 2 weeks. That, you know, that's why I spent the money. Because you guys, you know, enjoy it as much as I do. Not to mention, you and Ron. If I didn't know who the hell it was, you're right there with the info. Whether you Google it or not, you know. And it makes it more interactive that way. I had to order them. I had to. Like I say, I don't want to spend the money, but I had to order them. Holy shit! You see the time? And Fatso didn't come in. He's got to be hungry. Holy shit. 9:35. Well, time flies when you're having fun. All right, people. I have to go feed Fatso and me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for interacting, because it made for a hell of a night. And fingers crossed, the 2 books get here quickly. Because now I'm going to be like, yeah, that's odd. Oh, I know where he's at. He's laying in the kitchen window. I usually have the window closed this time of night. And the window's wide open. And I guarantee he loves laying in the window and looking out. And I bet you that's where he's at. I bet you I'll walk out in the kitchen and he'll be laying in the window. But I'm sure he's hungry. All right, everybody. Let's buzz out of here. All right, people. Thanks for being here. Hope you had as much fun as I did. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. And with that, everyone, take care. See you, bye. See you, bye, 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 bye.